Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be discussing how Epic Games seems to be attempting to ruin Fortnite's best feature. So in case you weren't aware, on Tuesday, Fortnite released their first new update of Season X, Content Update 10.0. Now, a lot of people were hoping and expecting this to be an update which implemented some kind of a nerf to mechs, but sadly, that ended up not being the case. And I believe this was due to the fact that it was only a content update, which traditionally contained less changes than normal updates. So because of that, this video isn't going to be about the update as a whole, it's actually about one specific part of it. And if you stay up to date with the Fortnite community on any kind of social media platform out there, you probably know what I'm referring to here is the brand new point of interest which was added to the map named Tilted Town. Here's what Epic said about the new town in their own words directly from the patch notes. Neo-Tilted is not so Neo anymore. A rift zone has turned this location into what it was many years in the past, a Wild West settlement. What's even wilder than this Western twist is that building and harvesting are prohibited. So this little patch note about Tilted Town's origin story actually started off in a pretty positive way. I think I speak for almost everybody when I say that Neo-Tilted was absolute garbage compared to the original Tilted Towers, so it being transformed was something a lot of players were actually hoping for. However, all that hype was absolutely crushed into a million different pieces with that final sentence about not being able to build or harvest materials inside any part of Tilted Town. This is plain and simple a very bad sign for the future of Fortnite, and it practically confirms some of the negative things that players had been fearful of for a while. So without further ado, let's get into more detail about what exactly I mean by that. So even though a no building and no farming zone may be an absolute shocker for a lot of players, this was actually very strongly hinted at in the initial Season X patch notes under the heading titled Rift Zones. It says, the 0-point explosion has made the island volatile. Locations once thought to be lost are beginning to appear, but they aren't the same as what they once were. Drop in and explore to discover what mysterious gameplay changes they have in store. Along with that, a few days ago, leakers were able to uncover some of the points of interest which are confirmed to be returning at some point this season, because there are actually future weekly challenges involving them. So, spoiler alert coming in 3, 2, 1, those towns are Moisty Mire, Anarchy Acres, Risky Reels, Greasy Grove, Tomato Town, and Flush Factory. And based on what I just read, I'm guessing that when all of these towns are reintroduced into the game, they'll have some kind of unique gameplay restrictions like what we just saw with Tilted Town. If I'm being honest, I actually think old towns being brought back into the game with some kind of unique twist to them is legitimately a really cool idea. However, I also want to make it very clear that what we saw being done to Tilted Town is very scary for the future of Fortnite. At the end of the day, building is hands down the most innovative, unique, addicting, and maybe most importantly, skill gap defining feature in all of Fortnite. I don't think anyone would really argue with that. Sure, they do other things really well, like constantly adding new content and cosmetics, frequent changes to the map, making the game playable on every system imaginable, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, if you take away building, Fortnite is just a cartoony version of every other Battle Royale game out there. To highlight this, I want to quickly tell you guys the story of how I started playing Fortnite and why I continued to play it. When the Battle Royale mode for Fortnite was released to the public, Battle Royale games were all the rage at the time. The most popular ones were definitely PUBG and H1Z1, and to be honest, I had never even heard of Fortnite before. But since neither PUBG or H1Z1 were on console yet, when I saw someone playing Fortnite in a video and heard it was free to play, I decided to give it a shot. And I specifically remember saying to my friends, who I also told to download the game, this game should be some good practice until PUBG is finally on Xbox. For the first couple weeks the game was out, I never intended to play it for more than maybe 2 or 3 months tops. But as I played the game more and more, I started to really enjoy it, mainly due to the building. Battle Royale games were awesome and definitely a super unique idea, but before Fortnite, they were notorious for being very slow paced and not having a super distinguishable skill gap. But by some miracle, Fortnite had found the solution to that problem in the form of building and editing. However, here's the thing, I think that as time has gone on, building and also to a lesser degree editing have turned into something that the Fortnite developers never expected. In the past, and heck, even now to a slightly lesser extent, whenever Fortnite would release a trailer for a new item or weapon, you would see build structures that were built by the developers in the background of the video that looked absolutely nothing like how players actually built in the real game. You'd see something like an entire team camping in this crazy elaborate multi-level base with a bunch of random windows and doors for no apparent reason. I strongly believe that was exactly what Fortnite always wanted the building in their game to look like. Not the crazy ramp rushes, 90s, and high ground retakes that you so commonly see today, especially because all those advanced building techniques really raise the skill gap of the game exponentially, and therefore make it much harder for new players to succeed. Now, we've seen them make changes and add weapons/items in the past that have acted as either soft or hard counters to building. But what they did to Tilted Town is without a doubt the furthest they've ever gone. If you would have told me a few seasons ago that Fortnite would add an entire town smack dab in the middle of the map that you can't build or even farm materials in, I would have laughed at you. Heck, if you told me that a few weeks ago, I would have laughed at you. And the negative impacts that not being able to build or farm in Tilted Town are obviously super problematic. The most extreme example of this is when there's any kind of endgame situation involving Tilted Town, where the storm basically forces you into it. I'll just play a quick little example of this happening in a pro scrim from the perspective of Benji Fishy.
One.
Oh no! I was gonna keep impulsing. No way! Oh, I tagged one so hard. No way! No way! I'm dead. Yeah, GG. Nice zone.
I mean, sure, what you saw there obviously has a pretty low probability of happening on a game-to-game basis since the Fortnite map is so large. But man, that clip featuring a bunch of the best Fortnite players in the entire world looked more like a game of Call of Duty or PUBG than a game of Fortnite. Just hypothetically, imagine the response by the community if something like that had happened in an official tournament with millions of dollars on the line. The outrage would have been absolutely insane. Another major negative of the building/farming ban in Tilted Town is that it totally ruins its potential as a landing spot. In terms of design and amount of loot, Tilted Town actually seems pretty solid. Not as good as old Tilted, but definitely better than Neo Tilted. However, if you're someone playing the game seriously, whether it be for a win or just to get as many kills as possible, you never want to land in Tilted Town with the way it currently is. Without being able to defend yourself with building, pretty much every close range fight you're going to take is a 50-50. And even if you have really awesome aim, you can only win so many 50-50s in a row before your luck runs out and you die. Plus, even if you do win Tilted Town, you'll probably be decently looted due to all the chest and item/weapon spawns, but you're also going to be walking out of the town with pretty much zero total materials. Now, it is entirely possible that sometime in the near future, Epic removes the building/farming restriction for Tilted Town, and then it would become a really cool potential landing spot. However, that doesn't change the fact that this is very likely just Fortnite testing the waters to truly see how far they can go to destroy the importance of building. And if you're someone who really enjoys Fortnite and has put countless hours into the game like I have, that's incredibly concerning to say the least. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the brand new Tilted Town, and specifically the fact that it doesn't allow building or material farming. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.